Right now, your computer is dying. Not dramatically, not all at once, but quietly, part by part, dollar by dollar. And the worst part, most of it is completely preventable. I'm not talking about your PC getting slow because it's old. I'm talking about specific, identifiable components that are degrading right now, today, in ways that will cost you a new machine if you ignore them. The average American replaces a computer every 3 to 4 years. The average cost? Between $800 and $1,500. But here's what nobody tells you. Most of those replacements happen not because the machine is dead, but because it feels dead. Performance tanks, things crash, it gets hot, the battery stops holding a charge. All of that is fixable. Most of it for under $50. Today, we are going deep. This is not a top 5 tips listicle. We are going to talk about the actual science behind why each of these parts fails, what is happening at the hardware level, and exactly what you can do about it today. By the end of this video, you will have a clear action plan to extend the life of your machine by 3, 4, maybe even 5 years. Welcome to TechRenew Deep Dive. I'm your host, and this channel exists for one reason: to help you beat planned obsolescence, save money, and understand the technology you already own. Before we get into it, quick credibility check, because I know there are 1,000 fix your PC videos out there. I've spent over a decade in hardware repair and system optimization, working with everything from consumer laptops to enterprise servers. I've seen firsthand how manufacturers design for a certain lifespan, and more importantly, how to work around it. What you're getting here is not surface-level advice. This is the stuff technicians use. Alright, let's get into it. 5 parts. Why they fail. How to save them. Number 1. Your thermal paste. If your computer is more than 2 years old and you have never touched the thermal paste, this is your single biggest performance killer right now. Let me explain why. Thermal paste, also called thermal compound or thermal interface material, sits between your central processing unit, your CPU, and the metal heatsink that pulls heat away from it. Its entire job is to fill the microscopic air gaps between those two surfaces. Air is a terrible conductor of heat. Thermal paste is a great one. Here is what happens over time. The paste dries out. It contracts and expands through thousands of heat cycles. It oxidizes. And when it degrades, heat transfer efficiency drops dramatically. Your CPU starts running hotter than it should. The system detects this and throttles performance to protect itself. This is called thermal throttling. Your processor is literally slowing itself down because it is too hot. You may not even notice it happening. The machine does not crash. It just gets slower. Games stutter. Renders take longer. Your browser lags. You think the computer is just old. It is not. It is suffocating. The fix: replace the thermal paste. Here are the steps. First, acquire a quality thermal compound. I recommend Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut or Arctic MX6. Both are under $15. Second, carefully disassemble to access your heatsink. On desktops, this is usually for screws. On laptops, this involves more steps. Look up your specific model. Third, clean off the old paste using 90% or higher isopropyl alcohol and a lint-free cloth. Fourth, apply a pie-sized dot of new paste to the center of the CPU die. Fifth, reattach the heatsink. That's it. Most people see a temperature drop of 15 to 30 degrees Celsius. That translates directly to sustained performance. Does your machine run noticeably hotter than it did a year ago? Drop that in the comments. I'm curious how many of you are dealing with this right now. Number 2. Your storage drive. Not all storage dies the same way, and understanding the difference is critical. If you have a traditional hard disk drive, an HDD, you have spinning magnetic platters, and a mechanical read-write head, physical parts in motion. Over time, sectors go bad. The drive starts having to work around those bad sectors. Retry reads, do error correction. Your operating system is still loading from the same drive. It just now has to navigate around damage. Everything slows down. If you have a solid-state drive, an SSD, the failure mode is different, but just as real. SSDs use NAND flash memory. Every cell in that memory can only be written to a finite number of times. This is called write endurance. Consumer SSDs typically last around 300 to 500 terabytes written. Most people never hit that limit. But here is what they do hit: something called write amplification on a nearly full drive. When your SSD is more than 80% full, it has to do increasingly complex internal gymnastics to find space. Performance degrades significantly. The actionable steps here. First, download Crystal Disk Info on Windows or Drivids, on Mac, both free, and check your drive health today. Look for the reallocated sectors, count on hard disk drives, and the percentage of drive life remaining on solid-state drives. Second, if you have an older hard disk drive and the budget allows, upgrading to an SSD is the single highest impact upgrade you can make to an aging machine. A 512GB SATA SSD runs about $40 to $50. The performance difference is not subtle, it is transformational. Third, if you have an SSD, keep it under 75% capacity. Use cloud storage or an external drive for overflow. Number 3, your RAM. This one is more nuanced, and it's the part most people misdiagnose. RAM itself rarely fails permanently, but it does develop errors over time, particularly with heavy use, or if it has been subject to voltage instability. More commonly, the issue is not the hardware at all. It is how your operating system is managing it. On Windows, background processes accumulate over time. Every piece of software you install wants to run something at startup. The registry gets bloated. Virtual memory, which is when your system uses your storage drive as overflow RAM, gets hammered because physical RAM is always occupied. This creates a feedback loop where your system constantly swaps data between RAM and storage, which is orders of magnitude slower than staying in physical RAM. There is also a phenomenon specific to integrated graphics systems, common in budget laptops, where the graphics driver and operating system negotiate how much RAM to allocate to graphics processing. If this is misconfigured or outdated, you can lose meaningful chunks of available memory to graphics overhead without realizing it. Here are your steps. First, open Task Manager on Windows or Activity Monitor on Mac. Right now, look at your memory usage at idle. If you are over 60% at idle, you have a problem. Second, audit your startup programs. On Windows, go to Task Manager, then the Startup tab, and disable everything you do not recognize or need. Third, update your drivers, especially your graphics drivers. On Windows, use a tool called Display Driver, uninstall a DDU, to do a clean reinstall. Fourth, if you are on Windows, open the Run dialog. Type mosconfig, go to Boot, then Advanced Options, and make sure the maximum memory setting is not artificially capped. This is a surprisingly common issue. Fifth, if you are genuinely RAM-starved, running 4 or 8 gigabytes, adding more RAM is often cheaper than you think. Check your laptop's model to see if RAM is soldered or slotted. Slotted RAM is upgradable. Many machines from the last 5 years support 16 to 32 gigabytes. Number 4, your battery. This applies primarily to laptops, but it is one of the most misunderstood components in consumer technology. Lithium-ion batteries degrade through charge cycles. One full cycle is draining from 100% to 0 and back. But here is what most people do not know. Partial cycles count proportionally. 50% down and back up is half a cycle. The chemistry inside the battery, the lithium ions moving between the anode and cathode, causes physical stress on the electrode materials every single time. Over time, the active material cracks microscopically. Capacity drops. Most laptop batteries are rated for around 500 full charge cycles before they hit 80% of original capacity. At 1,000 cycles, you are often looking at 60% or less. Beyond that, swelling can occur. Lithium-ion cells expand as they degrade, and that is where it becomes a safety and a physical damage issue. Here is how to manage this. First, check your battery health. On Windows, open Command Prompt as administrator and type powerquef batter report, that is powerquef / batter report. Then open the generated HTML file and look at the design capacity versus full charge capacity. On Mac, hold Option and click the battery icon, then check condition. Second, avoid consistently charging to 100%. Most battery management research shows the sweet spot is between 20 and 80% for longevity. Many modern laptops have a battery limit setting in the manufacturer's software. Third, avoid heat during charging. Heat is the #1 accelerant of lithium-ion degradation. Do not charge your laptop on a bed or a pillow. Third, if your battery health is below 70%, replacement is worth it. iFixit and manufacturers' own service programs often make this accessible for under $50 to $100. Number 5, your cooling system. We talked about thermal paste, but the cooling system is bigger than that. The fans, the heat pipes, the vents, all of it degrades, and all of it matters. Cooling fans accumulate dust, not just on the vents inside, on the fan blades themselves, on the heatsink fins. Dust acts as insulation. It physically reduces airflow and traps heat. This compounds the thermal paste degradation we already talked about. On top of that, Fan bearings wear out. A worn bearing creates resistance, meaning the fan cannot spin as fast as it used to, even at maximum RPM command. And a slower fan in a dusty system is a recipe for thermal throttling and, eventually, for a CPU or GPU that shuts the system down entirely as a protection mechanism. Heat pipes are another underappreciated failure point. These are sealed tubes filled with a small amount of working fluid, typically a mix, including water that transfers heat through evaporation and condensation in a closed loop. Over many years and temperature cycles, the seal can degrade. The fluid can partially evaporate or degrade chemically, and the heat pipe loses efficiency. This is less common but worth knowing. Your steps here. First, compressed air is your friend. Every 6 months, use a can of compressed air to blow out your vents. Do this outdoors or in a well-ventilated space. For laptops, a 2-second burst into each vent while the machine is off. For desktops, open the case and blow out everything. Second, monitor your fan speeds. On Windows, use HWINFO64, HWINFO64 to see actual fan RPM. If your fan is stuck at low speed during high load, the fan controller or the fan itself may be failing. Third, if you hear grinding or rattling, that is a bearing failure. A replacement fan for most laptops costs between $10 and $25 and is usually a straightforward swap. Do not ignore that sound. Let's bring this all together. You now have 5 specific, actionable targets: thermal paste, storage health, RAM management, battery condition, and the cooling system. Each one of these is something you can assess today, for free, with tools that already exist. And fixing any one of them could add years to your machine's life. Here is what I want you to do right now. Pick one, just one of these 5 areas, and go check it today. Run Crystal Disk Info, pull a battery report, open Task Manager, and actually look at what is running. One action. That is all it takes to start. If this kind of deep, practical content is what you are looking for, subscribe to TechRenew Deep Dive. This channel is built on a single mission. You should not have to buy a new computer because a manufacturer decided your old one should feel obsolete. Every single video we make is about fighting that. Hit subscribe. Leave a comment telling me which of these 5 parts you think is hurting your machine the most right now. I read every single one. And I will see you in the next video.